Good afternoon, hello, my name is Daniel, this is the TriathlonDan YouTube channel, but today's video is not about me. You'll be glad to know today's video is about my friend Lee Tunnicliffe. Lee, you are a cyclist turned triathlete. What's been going on for the last few weeks? What are you training for and how's it going?
Yeah, so I've been cycling for a number of years now. Over 20 I've been racing.
Oh, you're giving away all your then.
And yeah, this year I'm excited to have a new aim, which is the Outlaw Sprint in May. And I've been gradually getting into being a multi-sport athlete. So the swimming at the minute is twice a week, and I'm just gradually shaving a bit of time off and adding a bit of distance on, and you know, it's going as well as it can. I've had a little bit of a shoulder thing, which I'm just keeping at bay by just being sensible. So really the swimming's just taking care of itself at the minute. The running, it's been difficult to get into that. You know, although I've got the heart and lungs from cycling, I've been finding it's quite difficult to recover from runs, and you know, especially I've decided to do a duathlon in April to sort of get used to transitions and doing the different sports together. And what I have found is I can run off the bike really well, which is good for triathlon, but I can't really bike off the run that well, and it seems to destroy my legs for days. So I think running has definitely been the sport that's been most difficult to get into.
You were saying you've been finding it harder to bike off the run.
Yeah, so I've really worked hard to maintain my thread here. So I was talking about the challenges of duathlon training and how much that's seeming to hurt, but the positive aspects with the running are my all-day pace seems to have increased. So for the same heart rates on these long zone 2 runs, the pace seems to be naturally nudging up, which is good. And I think I've got a lot to thank for park runs for that. So I've done a couple of park runs now, and it feels like when you've pushed yourself that hard, like bringing it down a notch or two, it just then becomes a lot easier. And now I've established a 5k pace in the park runs, I'm running some intervals at that pace, and you know, it's all coming together, it feels like. So yeah, starting to feel better, starting to get faster, and certainly the legs are aching a lot less after a run now, so the recovery's a lot easier.
So we're about 8 weeks out, in fact we are 8 weeks out from the Outlaw Sprint. So you've realistically got, what, 7 weeks of training. So you're getting to the point where the pace and the ability you've got now is probably not too far away from like where you're going to be on race day.
Yeah.
So swimming, you've made some big improvements in the swimming. Just talk us through, like, because you don't get hung up on times, you're more thinking about technique and so on, aren't you? But
yeah,
just talk us through your progress in the pool. Like, where were you 2-3 months ago, and what sort of times and distances are you doing now?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to track the beginning of my swimming because it was hellish to begin with, and then Ash got hold of me and I swam with fins for a long time. But I was, I mean, me and you were talking, weren't we? So an example, I tried to get under a minute for 50 metres swimming on your feet, and absolutely all out, I could only manage a minute and a second. And then the other day in one of Ash's sessions, I did 9 50s back to back, all under a minute, with like 20 seconds rest on my own. So, you know, that's the kind of progress we're talking about. And when I tried the wetsuit as well, I got some huge gains from that. You know, my 100 metre time was down below 150 in the wetsuit, so you know, that's really encouraging as well. And I've not actually tried swimming the race distance non-stop yet, so 750 meters. I don't know if that's something I want to consider doing, but I do feel confident I could achieve it. You know, I'm swimming 300-400 meters without stopping there, and it's feeling okay. So yeah, some really good progress.
So in terms of like running, you've had a couple of 5Ks, well, park runs where you've gone fairly hard. What sort of times are you knocking out for the 5Ks?
Yeah, so I had one that I was not really pushing it too much, and I did a 21:30, and then I had one where I gave it a proper nudge, and I did a 19:15, which I was pretty happy with.
Yeah. Excellent. Now, we've talked a lot about numbers there, but there's a lot more to it than that, isn't there? How are you finding like multi-sport training from a fun and enjoyment factor?
Well, it's given me like this new lease of life, really, where, you know, because you've got the 3 sports to choose from, it kind of gives you this novelty factor. You know, if you don't feel like doing one thing, or the weather's not right for one thing, you can just switch it up and do another thing. And, you know, you can even find ways to put the 2 sports into a day, and, you know, maybe like do a run and then go for a swim after, or, you know, it's just really convenient. And obviously swimming you can do in the dark, running you can pretty much do in bad weather. So it's not all, you know, you're not just hung up on cycling. And I'm seemingly managing to get the same bike volume in that I was sort of pre-being a multi-sport athlete, but I'm also adding on top of that 2 visits to the pool a week, and between 1.5 and 2.5 hours running. So that's really encouraging. And now that running's becoming a bit easier, I am starting to really enjoy it.
How are you finding juggling now 3 sports alongside work, alongside children, all those other things?
I think you've got to have some kind of a routine, and you've got to be quite strict with it. Things like the Thursday night swim session make that really easy, because there's a lot of motivation to go to hang out with your mates. Something like this, obviously running with you today, that gives you a lot of motivation. And yeah, just training with other people where you can, I suppose. Same as cycling, you know, meeting a group gets you out the door, don't it?
So what's the plan on the agenda today for today's training?
Just an hour, steady running, zone 2. Just get it done.
Yeah, good.
It's already feeling quite fast, actually.
Well, yeah, run at your own pace, don't follow me. All right, Leah, we'll put your stats on screen. Feel free to give Leah a follow on Strava, but talk us through it. How was today's run? What was the numbers?
Yeah, so I've done 1 hour and 2, 8 miles on the dot, 7:45 minute miling. So, yeah, as I say, the zone 2, the paces are steadily creeping up.
That was a hilly loop as well.
Yeah.
I ran that loop this morning at just over 9 minute miles.
Yeah, I mean,
tempo.
Yeah, that's just a sign of, I guess, the months of running I've been putting in, really, and it's just, yeah, it's nice to see the results.
Yeah, good work. Right, 8 weeks to go. Get behind this guy in the comment section down below.
Come on.
Outlaw sprint, here we go. Well, you've got a duathlon first, but...
That's right, yeah, 21st of April, ATW sprint duathlon at Mallory Park, sorry.
Yeah, so if you see Lee there, make sure you make him hurt.
Yeah, and scrape me up off the tarmac at the end.
Brilliant. Right, thanks for letting me join you, Lee. I'll see you soon.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.